Hi all, Todd here, and we are in Cherryville, North Carolina at the C. Greer Beam Truck Museum. Yeah, I've been wanting to stop in here. It's free admission, so I'm going to take a look, and yeah, it's a cool place to stop by if you're ever in Cherryville. Yep, and here's a sign that you'll see when you come over here. It's the free admission entrance to the C. Greer Beam Truck Museum. Check this out. It's an old gas station. That is awesome. But it's all in here. This museum is a big warehouse. So let's go in there and check these trucks out. So when was this taken?
This picture was taken in 1935, and
Right.
the man in the middle is Charles Greer Beam. He was the founder of Carolina Freight.
Wow.
And this is his older brother, Guy, leaning on the gas pump. Guy was the owner-operator of this Shell service station. And this truck here is a 1935 International. That's the first tractor-trailer that Carolina ever had. Prior to that, they used the stake body box truck like that.
Okay, so you sell the die cast. That's neat.
Yeah.
I love that. They look great. Now these are some of the real.
That's a replica of his first truck.
Oh, this one here?
No, the
or this
black one is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
And,
so you can purchase
this
these.
building was built in 1917.
17. This beautiful building
And
too.
it's now on the National Register of Historic Places.
And I love the swag here too. The hats and the coffee mugs.
Oh yeah.
This is great. And the prices right here.
Well, this is the area that he gave him to be his office, and that's his actual desk from 1932. It
Wow.
was a wedding gift from his mother-in-law when he and Lena, see, that's her picture up there, got married. Of course, this was all taking place during the Great Depression.
Really?
Money was really tight. The nail keg was what they used for a seat because they couldn't afford a chair at the time.
Wow, that's cool. And what's up? Is this artifacts of his also?
Those are artifacts of his. Some of that dealt with Sunbeam Farms. He was going to be a farmer, and he had gone to Weaver State College, which is now Brevard College up in the mountains.
Oh, okay.
And then he went 2 more years to North Carolina State, and he had degrees in agriculture. And he was working on a big poultry farm in Florida when the Great Depression broke out. He lost his job and came home, and he was looking for something to make a living.
And he was a veteran, looks like.
Actually,
Or is that,
that
what
was
is that?
awarded to him because of money that he donated to Arlington Cemetery
Oh, okay.
for the care of some of the unknown soldiers' tombs and stuff.
Oh, that's nice. In the next room, this is really neat. Look at all the different die cast, the collection here. A lot of the history is right here. This is great. And this is all Carolina Freight, looks like. Everything.
All these trucks on the bottom are all the different trucking lines that were, most of them are North Carolina truck lines, but there are a few exceptions. But
Right.
North Carolina has really had a lot of big trucking companies.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
in its history. But all these on the top shelf are all the Carolina trucks that have been the different die cast, 164, whatever scale, that,
Right.
that have been sold here at the museum at one time or another.
Because Freightliner is just down the road from here in Mount Holly, not far at all. And this, he was telling me this room is the old service bay. Yeah, you can see the lines up here.
Yeah, we
Where
call
the door
it the
was.
timeline room now.
The timeline room. Oh, this is nice. This is just definitely a little gem for sure to find and come and see in Cherryville. And as you enter on this wall here, it shows you all the history, some photos from the past, and look here, look at this. All the different trucks from Carolina Freight. Wow, pretty amazing. So we'll walk in, take a tour. There's restrooms here too, in case you need to use a potty when you come in. Wow. So they're Mack trucks here. Nice. Now, were they all Macks back in the day, or kind of a mixture?
Carolina had a lot of different trucks.
Different trucks. There's white here. Okay, yeah, the different manufacturers. These are great. I always love the color, the black and the red.
Right.
It really pops.
And the red color that Carolina used was not just any color of red.
Oh, really?
He was a graduate of North Carolina State. He got permission to use the patented color.
The actual red.
Black red.
That is neat. I never knew that. I love finding out stuff like that. Let me get a shot inside. Cherryville right there. So it is. You gotta get permission to use that red. This is amazing. And definitely if you're into trucks, this is a place to come to see these guys. Well preserved history right here. There's the inside of that one. I love the big box truck here. That's cool. Get that in here. Now it looks like, is there classes in here, or what are the histories?
That's actually a little theater in there.
Oh, it's a theater. Okay. Let's take a quick peek in there. Now is this, and this over here looks like it may have been a uniform that the drivers would wear.
Yeah, that was a driver's uniform.
You don't see that much anymore. Yeah.
Back in the day, a lot of the drivers liked to wear the uniforms.
Sure.
It had actually, the tie even had Carolina Freight on the tie. Pictures of a little Carolina truck. They had, and the ones that liked to wear them,
Sure. They took care of them. They took pride in their work and their uniforms. I remember also the bus drivers had a similar outfit to this. And a lot of pride for sure in working for Carolina Freight. Check that out. But this is the theater here where you see the history. Let's get a quick peek in there. There we go. I'm gonna have a link in the description too, so you can find out how to find this place, come to it, visit, sit down and watch the show.
Walls back then, from the front bumper of the cab to the rear bumper of the trailer, could not exceed an overall length of 45 feet.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
And even though they had full sleepers
right
in cabs as early as 1938, 39 along in there,
right,
they didn't like to use them because then they had to run a much shorter trailer and they couldn't hold as much freight.
Oh, okay, because that expanded the length of it.
So they actually built a box that went under the trailer that one driver would ride in while the other driver drove and sleep in there.
Really?
That got outlawed pretty fast.
Yeah.
And,
I'd be scared to death.
And then they came up with this idea. They cordoned off a little section of the nose of the trailer and put a bunk up here in the front.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that. That is pretty cool. So their bed was right there, built inside the trailer. That's crazy.
They took up a lot of room.
Right.
And they round nose, these trailers are referred to as round nose trailers, not for aerodynamic reasons as most people think.
Right.
They did that so they could put the trailer just as close to the cab as they could, and when it turned, the corners wouldn't take the back of the cab out.
Oh, gotcha. Wow, that's amazing. I need to find a photo of that when they slept down there. Like, no way. Yeah, I just love this. And each one has a plaque too. Old number 1 right here.
Yeah, this was Red Arrow Freight was the largest trucking company in Texas, and Carolina bought Red Arrow in 1984, and this was Red Arrow's first truck.
Wow.
And they acquired this truck in that acquisition, and it was brought up here 3 years later.
That's beautiful. Get a shot. 1927 model. Get a shot of the inside. Look at that.
The last year that they designated these as the horseless carriage.
Really?
You know, what set them apart was the wood spoke wheels. And
oh, yeah.
That was the last year that, 27 was the last year that they ran those.
Now I know, because some of my toy collectors, I know a lot of toy collectors, they collect a lot of the die-cast trucks like this.
Yeah.
Very popular. Yeah, this is awesome. Oh, here's the back.
In fact, the Horseless Carriage Club of America was here last year.
Right.
They had 46 vehicles out here in our backyard that were all 1927 and down. That's
really?
The requirements to be in that club.
And that
can't be any newer than a 1927.
27. Wow. I just love the red. Yeah, it's kind of cool history how we get the red color. Very neat.
You know, this 35 right here in front of you is a replica of
this one
the
here?
very first tractor that Carolina ever had.
It's an old International. Nice.
35.
1935. Over here you got a wall of the early years. A lot of these cool photos and history that you can read about the history of Carolina Freight all along here. These are just beautiful trucks. Love them. Walk over here too. Get a shot of the back of these trucks. The old desk there. That's neat. And it looks like there's a sign there So this right here says where it says Carolina Corporate Headquarters. What was this at one time?
That was the sign that was out here in front of the corporate offices.
Okay. Do you remember what they would put in these right here? Were there information, or what was that just for looks? Okay. That's really neat. They preserve that for looks. Yeah, that's so cool. And when I moved up here in 1974, that's all you saw was Carolina Freight everywhere. I think he just told me they had 220 terminals at one time. Massive. But yeah, they had different types of trucks from different types of manufacturers in their lot. So, but yeah, especially when you come up here in the 70s, you would see them everywhere. I mean, not just here, but all across the United States. You would see that beautiful red. We turn the light on, and we get a cool view of the inside of the trailer. Yeah, love the old Carolina carpet right there. But yeah, this is where you come and see the history of the trucks, the Carolina Freight. And I want to thank Stan for giving us a tour here. Be sure you stop by and see him. Yeah, this is a piece of great Carolina history. The trucks are amazing because, I mean, the Carolinas were the capital pretty much of trucking at one time. And probably, I would say, kind of still are.
Well,
you know, I'd say. So, but like I said, when I came here, when I first got here in the 70s, that's all you saw was Carolina Freight everywhere. Yeah. And how many stations did they have, you said, at one time?
All total in the United States, they had 222 terminals.
And that was west, from East Coast to West Coast?
Yeah, they
pretty much.
And they had, in 1994, that was their last full year. And that year they had 10,506 employees.
Wow.
They had 4,023 tractors.
That's crazy.
They had 13,704 trailers and 177 box trucks. That was their final inventory. And that year they did $936 million in annual sales.
Wow.
So they were not a small.
They weren't small. They were huge. Yeah. But yeah, if you guys stop by here in Cherryville, make sure you stop by and see this wonderful museum. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye. That surprised me too, seeing Stan, because Stan does a lot of the car shows that I go to, and he's got a beautiful Impala, and yeah, but also ended up getting the replica, a little die cast of that truck you saw, had the sleeper built into the front, and I need to find a picture of the sleeper when it was on the bottom. Yeah, like he said, that wasn't around a long time.